You're listening to the NAMAD Sessions by Mia, live from the NAMAD Annual Membership Meeting 2025.
All right, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back. I am Errol Bomar. This is More Than Cars, and we are here at our NAMAD Sessions brought to you by Mia. I'm excited to welcome up our next guest, and so do me a favor and make her feel warm and welcome. Please welcome Julie Tabarejo. Julie.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I cannot complain. I won't complain because why complain?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're in a great place.
This is it. A great place, great weather, and great people.
Correct.
It's all a good combination, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hard to beat.
I know you just came out of the WOCAN luncheon, right? So tell us a little bit or share a little bit of insight from your own personal experience. Like, what did you experience in the luncheon? What was something you took away or even something you were excited about from being in the luncheon?
Right. So WOCAN, I've had the pleasure of attending this for the first time ever.
Okay.
And wow, it's so inspired.
Yeah.
I mean, being a woman of color, I'm Asian, right?
Yeah.
So the opportunities immediately are dwindled down, right? They're in a small select pool, and sometimes we get in our feelings about it, and we're kind of sad about the lack of opportunity.
Right.
But when we're surrounded by other strong women who have paved that way for us, and can show us how and pull us forward, it is so inspiring because it gives me hope that, you know, even though we've had to struggle this far, it doesn't mean that we're going to struggle forever.
Yeah.
And the opportunities really are limitless. So we have to take the blindfolds off, and we have to stop saying, oh, woe is me, right? Just because it hasn't happened does not mean it won't happen.
Yeah.
And something that was so special that Stacey Abrams said is that even though I didn't win, it doesn't mean that I lost.
Right. Wow. Yeah. And that's big. And I think what I hear you saying, right, and I think we all have to struggle with it, right? It's one thing, like, you can have the feeling, right? Because the feeling is real. Like, you have to identify the feeling of the sadness or the frustration or whatever it is in that moment, but you can't let that feeling have you to where it stops you, it prevents you, it impedes you. You know, I grew up playing sports, and the statement in sports was, if I give you a bucket of cement, you can make a stepping stone or a stumbling block. It's your choice, right?
Exactly.
It's the same bucket of cement. And so what I hear you saying is a lot of that. It's like, okay, yes, I can have that moment, but after that moment, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go kick some, you know, this is a family show.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about how you got into the automotive space and what you're excited about in the automotive space and even what you're currently doing within the automotive space.
Sure. So I think, like a lot of us, nobody really anticipates getting into automotive. You just kind of fall into it, or you stumble and you trip and then you land here and then it somehow all works out.
Yes.
So I'm much of the same.
Okay.
My background is actually in media and PR and marketing, but I started in the travel industry. I'm born and raised in Hawaii, and if you know anything about Hawaii, it's a destination.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to go. Everybody saves to go, because you can't just go. You have to save to go.
Exactly. And yeah, I want to say like 80% of the businesses are surrounded by tourism.
Okay.
So when COVID happened, can you imagine what?
Oh, that's a huge pivot. Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So we were talking a lot about pivots today in WOCAN and having the courage and the ability to take a step back, reevaluate, but still keep going on. It doesn't mean that you're giving up, right? It just means that take those applicable skills and put it towards something else. So that's exactly what I did during COVID time. I lost my job at these two hotels.
Okay.
Totally rocked my world. I did not know where was up. I could not tell you what was going to happen next.
Right.
I spent a little bit of time in nonprofits, and somebody from the automotive world tapped my shoulder and was like, you know what? I know you did marketing for, the state of Hawaii. I know you did it for hotels. Automotive needs some help. Let's get some perspective. So case in point about taking someone, taking another woman and pulling them in, right, and pulling them up. That was a great example for me because that's how I got into automotive.
That's great.
I didn't know anything, right?
Right.
But the way that I looked at it, I'm like, transferable skills, right?
Right,
If I can
absolutely.
sell a bed to you, right, I can sell an experience of a vehicle to you.
Right. That's smart.
So
that's smart.
Yeah. So that's how I got in, and I got through 3 years of retail over at the Tony Automotive Group in Hawaii.
Okay.
Learned a lot. And I ended up moving from that position over to Houston, where I'm now serving as a OEM consultant for Kia.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Kia's been a very interesting brand to work for, and I'm so excited because a lot of changes in the marketplace. I think Kia's doing some disruption with their
Yeah.
recent rebranding. So it's been an interesting time.
Yeah, I definitely have seen a lot of the rebranding intentionality that they've done, like even starting with the change of the logo and kind of some of the rebranding of their cars and kind of getting that, what used to be that old stigma of what Kia was to now like, no, this is not all we do.
We brand new.
You know, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. So what about your experience at NAMAD as a whole? Like, is this your first
First
NAMAD?
time.
Okay, good. So how's your first experience at NAMAD been?
It's really interesting because not only am I in a room full of people who look like me,
Yeah.
right, who have a similar experience to me, I get to see a lot of change happening. It's exciting because I'm in Houston, right?
Okay.
And even in other areas, even in other markets, you don't get to see a lot of people in the same positions or doing similar work
Yes.
as you would out there. We know that this is not a dominated field for us. And as a
Right.
woman, too, it takes it a step further. So it's inspiring for me to see other people doing what I do or going a little bit further, reaching for more and asking those questions. And as a kid, I didn't think that owning a dealership could even be for me,
Okay.
right? I didn't even think that women of color could own a dealership,
Right.
And
Yeah.
going to WOCAN and the luncheon today kind of took me by surprise because I was like, oh, right, that
Yeah.
is an option.
Yeah.
And seeing, a lot of other people here doing the same thing, trying to figure out how to make it, that's great. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love to be in these rooms.
Yes, it is. It's something about the optimistic energy that fills the room, right?
Exactly.
That I think one word is very simple. It's unstoppable, right?
Yeah.
And unstoppable is a word that like you hear it, but like when you really look at the definition, it really means incapable of being stopped. It's that simple. Like it's incapable of being stopped. And when you really think about that, that speaks to the perseverance that you mentioned about like, okay, yeah, I do have to transition, but you know what? I know how to do this. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how, but I know how, right?
Or
It's-
if I don't know how, I can find somebody within my community who can take me there.
That's
right.
it.
You don't have to have all of the answers, but a lot of us have the resources. We just don't know how to tap into that. And that's what something like NAMAD can do for all of us.
Yeah, it helps you create that support system
Exactly.
to really understand, like you said, and share a perspective, right? We were talking about it earlier. Like, there's one difference of like having a support system, but then it's a whole nother level to have a support system that is also traveling down the road with you on the
Exactly.
journey. It's like, oh yeah, you're not just pointing me in the direction. We're going together,
Uh-huh.
and that's I think makes a big difference.
The education on that alone is so profound because not only in automotive am I able to learn from people who are younger than me,
Yes.
people who are in the same position or same level of expertise as me, but I can learn from above me as well. And that's where we all culminate words.
It's all right.
That's where we all come together. And it's so special at NAMAD because every position is here, right?
Right,
We're
yes.
all trying to get to figure out what's the next step, how do we get better?
Yeah.
And that, fantastic.
Yeah, and it sounds like, even going back to your own personal story, it sounds like, if I heard you correctly, you transitioned from Hawaii to Houston. You want to stick with the
Correct.
H's? Is that what it was?
I guess so.
Like sticking with it.
I-
So, well, let me ask you this. In that transition, because that's a completely different market, like you
Totally
mentioned,
different.
obviously a very tourist-heavy market versus, not necessarily as tourist-heavy. What are some things that you've seen in the difference of not only now a new industry, but also a new market? Has there been any things that you've seen that's like, oh, I didn't realize how transferable this was, or how like how uniform this actually could be, that changed your perspective?
Right. Okay. So with the H's, when I tell people in Houston or just in the Southwest market in general, because that's my territory,
Yes.
they're like, why are you here? You're going the wrong way.
Right,
There's
right.
no reason why you're here. Why are you talking to us? You should be going home. And I go, listen, it's different because the markets are different.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I learned in my start in Hawaii was, about traditional media because the news still works for us.
Right.
The newscasters are C-list celebrities in Hawaii.
Okay.
Everybody knows them. You rock with them. You want your event to do well, you ask them to host your event.
Wow. Gotcha. Okay.
So they still have a lot of clout in Hawaii because it's a small town essentially, but it's a state.
Right. Yeah.
But moving that to Houston, that doesn't always apply. Some
Right.
people, some dealers are still doing traditional media, but not at the scale of Hawaii. So I'm used to creating scripts, conversing with the radio stations, doing things like that. That is still applying, but the name of the game really is digital.
Okay.
And in my current role at Shift, that's where I get to work with the dealers on a larger scale because I'm not doing it for my dealer group anymore. I'm doing it for the brand.
Okay.
And I'm helping them align to the brand's goals and making sure that we're not taking the eye off the prize. I got knowledge up here that's transferable, but unless you hire somebody to be in your dedicated marketing team, some dealerships wouldn't even know that these things are possible and they should be looking at these things. I think we get into the weeds of a lot of dealer groups and just dealers in general hire a vendor.
Okay.
But they don't always understand the KPIs associated with that vendor.
Yes.
We're really good about, hey, I'm going to pay you the money. You're the expert. I don't really understand it, but I'm not supposed to understand it. So you tell me, is it working?
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to double check,
Yeah,
right?
you missed something there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So that's why I think my role is really special because I get to bridge the gap in between the people who are enrolled into the program through dealership, right, and the vendors who are approved by Kia, and really feel where the disconnect is and provide that level of expertise that I don't think that dealers in the South necessarily would have access to otherwise. Because that's a lot of overhead to hire somebody for a marketing team, especially if you're a single point store.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it sounds like you have the opportunity to almost kind of be like their safety system, their blind spot detector, to be like,
exactly
hey, there's a blind spot here. There's something you can't see. Let me help you uncover this and understand it a little bit better. Because I think you're right. I think sometimes the dealers, to your point, they'll say like, oh, well, I seen your website and it looks pretty cool and I had a good sales call. And I don't want to ask these questions because I don't want to sound like I don't know. And that's the biggest thing a lot of times is like, I don't want to sound uneducated in this area, but why should you be? Like, if you know what I mean? And that's, I think sometimes people have to realize like it's okay to not know and ask the question and just say, hey, I don't know. How does this work? As opposed to just saying like, oh yeah, right, I got it. You know,
like I think it's helping me,
right?
Costing me X amount of dollars every month, but the partnership there is fantastic because they don't have time. Like if your job is to sell new cars most of the time, right? You don't have time to get into the weeds about marketing. I'm not going to ask you to study the textbook about what marketing is because your bread and butter is selling new cars. You're great at that. Why would I want to take you away from something that you're great at to do something that you don't really understand?
Yes. That's great. I love that. So let me ask you, if people had more questions about what you're doing now or just wanted to connect with you in general, please tell them where they can find you or how they can connect with you if they have more questions, especially if they want to know about all the H cities and states and towns.
I got recommendations in Hawaii. I don't know H-Town that well, but come see me about Hawaii.
Okay.
Anyway, hey guys, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Julie Tabarejo. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. Find me on Instagram. I'll be around. Let's connect.
Yes, I love that. Well, listen, once again, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us. Julie, thank you for being here as well. Great having the conversation with you.
Always.
And great having you here as well. We look forward to you seeing us on the next NAMAD sessions brought to you by Mia. I'm Errol Bomar with More Than Cars, and we'll see you next time around.
Thank you for listening to this NAMAD session brought to you by Mia. At More Than Cars, we're obsessed with uniting people around one big idea, that thriving people are the only path to a thriving and profitable industry. And if that resonates with you, head over to morethancars.com to join our email list and check out our full list of podcasts and programming.